We love it. We hate it. We hate it and love it again. Yes, it's Warcraft, and we're here to talk about it. Welcome to the WoW Reckoning Hour. Hello, fellow gamers, and welcome to episode 11 of the WoW Reckoning Hour. I am Leonard, your host of the show, along with my co-host Sam, and we are here today to break down the Q&A with Ryan Shwayder. But before we get into everything, as usual, in the quick news, we want to kind of go over what we've been up to this week. So, Sam, what's going on?
Sam has been staying up way past her bedtime, shooting into people's faces into Overwatch. I'm getting like way into it. It's like old school WoW days when you're up to like 3 a.m. screwing around.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun, which means I'm not getting up until like 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, and I'm exhausted. So excuse my yawning, but other than that, we were talking about before we start podcasting, I have a fat dog, so I need to I spent my whole day today making homemade dog food so that my dog can go on a diet. And what else?
Eating good.
I know she's probably eating better than most people listening, to be honest. Now, vegetables and chicken. Mom's making it all for her. But what else happened this week? I don't know. Did anything else exciting happen in World of Warcraft this week? I didn't play much. You did though. I saw you. Oh
my god.
You've been just crazy this week.
Yeah, I've been all over the place, and WoW. I wanted to get a lot of things because obviously we know with this show what we're going to be talking about today is the 7-2 coming on Tuesday. Before we, obviously we want to kind of what we've been doing in that time, and this time I've got my druid up to 110.
Yeah.
Messing around on him. The leatherworking, he's a leather worker. Obviously, he was already 700. Mm-hmm. Like I said, it's nostalgia playing him again because I haven't played him since basically a little after I think I stopped playing. I stopped playing at the beginning of around BC time. Mm-hmm. I was raiding with him and stuff like that, in Karazhan and all that stuff. But when I finally got my druid good enough, and then I switched over hard to my druid. But it's been fun playing him again. I've always messed with his professions. The leatherworking professions are, God, those quests are just dumb.
Yeah,
it's just so long.
Remember, I was telling you about my tailoring and my enchanting, and I'm still I am still not 800 on both those professions, and I still don't even have all of my I'm close, but I still don't even have all my patterns.
Yeah.
Honestly, it gets to the point where you're just is this ever going to end? It doesn't end.
And I hate that you have to keep going back to the same guy that you went and did quests. Why didn't you tell me to do this stuff a minute ago?
Wait till you meet the enchanting guy and the tailoring guy. He makes you run all over the place, and then he runs off and kills himself. You're like, what?
Yeah, I did tailoring all the way up to now. Only thing, and I did tailoring a while back, and that was on my priest, and his all the way up to where I need to go to the new Karazhan to get something off of one of the, and that's where I stopped because he's not. Mm-hmm. Maybe when the new mythics come. I
think it comes off the mana worm or something. I remember that. That's the last time I was in Karazhan with her because I literally had to go in there to get that.
Yeah. And then after that, my hunter, I wanted to make, he's full prestige to level 9, so he's ready to hit 10 as soon as Tuesday comes. Wow. Then I closed out survival. Obviously, BM is closed out on 54 traits. Mm-hmm. Marksman, I think I won't hit 54, obviously, but I got 10 into my hidden, so what I'm at 44, so I'm 10 away. So it's been making sure things are closed out and everything is done. On my order hauls have been crazy.
I'm sitting on I have 100,000 resources or more on both my priest and my paladin. Mm-hmm. Plus, I think I'm 15 into my hidden on my tank spec on Brooks, and it's I switched over from disc shadow, and I'm 7 in on shadow into my hidden, and I believe I'm 12 or 13 in on disc. So I'm close enough to right. to kind of push in, but
yeah.
I feel like I'm prepared, and I don't know. I know a lot of people are kind of a little, I don't want to say bored because I don't know if that's the right word, but they're a little bit grinded out.
Enjoy it while you can.
You've got 24 hours until your big grind comes.
Exactly. My God, I feel like it's I don't want to get into crazy. We'll be getting into all that. I could just I'm ready to I'm
You're
definitely ready to jump
jazzed. You're
into it.
so
Yeah.
jazzed.
But the as far as for me, then I done some kind of funny on this. So real quick, obviously I've been playing HOTS. Me and Death and Drama when he can. Sometimes after raid we play a few. He jumps in with a few games with us, and then here and there when we're
Right.
playing. But we're trying to get our 5 games or 10 games in, and we kind of forgot about it for a minute, and then me and Death realized, and we're like, oh crap, we need to get in there do
Oh, you don't have the mount yet?
from doing the team.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not talking about the flame one. I'm talking about not the flame saber.
What?
I'm talking about so the new mount you can get, and it's just for Hearthstone, but the new season came out last week, and so you can go in there. Just don't do solo play. Don't do solo matching. You're always going to be in a group of 5 people, but you need to go into team matching. You can do it with 2 people, 3, or 5.
Wait,
so you take
there's
2.
a Hearthstone mount that you can get out of.
It's ranked play, but you have to do 10 matches of like placement matches, kind of like they've done in Overwatch and everything like that. You just do placement matches. Once you get those 10, you get that season's mount. It's awarded to you. I don't know what it is. I didn't want to like ruin it by like finding what it is or anything, what it looks like. I wanted to earn it. And so we've been working on that. Where I think 5 or 6 of the 10. The first time you do it, it's a little bit longer process than you're used to in rank play, because you can ban certain characters while you're going, and it does this picking process, who you picking, who you banning, and all that, and it goes back and forth through that, depending on the maps and stuff like that. We found out a good ban is Rag. Get him out of the game. Like pretty much Rag and Lucio, I'm good with banning every time. but then we go in, we play a few. I mean, it's very exciting. It's a lot of fun, but it's very draining. Because you always have to be like paying attention, on point, and just moving. And so we'll jump into some like regular game matches, some AI matches. We play AI on like a veteran and an elite. Just enjoy that a little bit. Take a minute back. Anytime we want to try new characters and all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah.
And then for me, I've also been doing some Hearthstone, to be honest.
Oh, I think I saw you playing Hearthstone the other day.
Yeah.
Trying the new Unguro shenanigans.
Well, that's not out yet.
Oh,
but
for some reason I thought it was out, because I thought it was going to go inside.
It's coming. It's got to be coming like any time now. They're still coming out with some episodes, and they keep releasing. They're doing talks about all the cards and stuff. But a funny thing that I never thought, and I was doing what made me doing my leatherworking stuff, quests and things like that easier, and leveling, like finishing off my druid and stuff like that, was actually this, which I'll be going also in the quick news here, but the I've been watching live streaming of the Hearthstone Winter Championship, and so it was a lot of fun. I'm not going to ruin, like, y'all can go find everything on your own, so go see if your guys won and all that kind of good stuff. But it's been very like I was amazed on how entertained I was. The commentators and stuff, I mean, they fell off a little bit. Maybe it's from podcasting or something like that it brought me in. Like, I was more entertained, because anything that we do through this, I'm always learning and listening into different things. But it was very interesting, like how entertained I was watching it. It made it easier. I couldn't just watch it alone. I mean, I have to be doing things like anybody else. Like I've told you, Sam, through anytime that I'm playing, if I'm playing alone and I'm just out questing or leveling, if I miss any like tells or anything like that, it's because I don't like. I'm questing, I'm doing stuff, but I have like a movie, podcast, stream,
watch both
something else is going on. Like, well, I'm mainly focusing on what's going on on my second monitor, and then I'm just like, it's questing, I'm doing this, and I'm really like all my attention's over there. I'm just like,
I do the same thing.
Zoning.
But I don't listen. I listen to like alternative news, like there's Alex Jones. I don't know if
education.
Yeah. Well, Alex Jones, not really, but Alex Jones is like in your neck of the woods. He's from Texas, but he actually does like this. He has a website called InfoWars, and I listen to. He does like a 8-hour newscast each day, going over like world events and stuff. Yeah, like it's all live, so you can watch it. But I generally just listen. He's pretty funny. He has lots of different special guests on too, if you're into that kind of thing. But that's generally what I'm doing, or shopping on his. Because that's all I do. Or I listen to like the White House. They like, like their little, I don't know. I listen to politics stuff. That's what I do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, well, so I guess we can go ahead and jump in the quick news, huh?
Let's do it.
All right, let's get into the quick news. All right, so once again, making the top line just because we don't hear much from them, Diablo 3. Patch 2.5 is now live. Now, this looks like it's just really some nice quality of life changes and some other things with that, so go check it out. Any Diablo 3 players that are out there. Still no Necromancer yet, but looks like some nice little changes there just to make it easier. And then Overwatch, guess what?
What?
They won Esports Game of the Year. So good job, Overwatch.
That was so good.
Yeah, definitely. Also making the headlines here is StarCraft. So StarCraft remastered. So the original StarCraft, they've remastered it, and it's been officially announced by Blizzard, and they're set to come out sometime this summer. So that's really cool. Nice. I'm excited. I will definitely be playing that and seeing it as a remaster.
Yeah. Andre's been watching a ton of StarCraft videos lately, actually.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, personally, I'm not into the space thing, but I can see the appeal.
Yeah, it man, I don't know either. Like, I'm not into the space stuff, but StarCraft, it hooked me from the beginning. I don't know. I like that level, that type. Nice. Heroes of the Storm, really small into that. Some hot fixes went out for Gaul, Kerosene, and Zero Tool. So go check those out. Go read in those. It's small, really nothing like minute changes, like just hot fixes. Hearthstone. The Hearthstone, like I was telling you during before we got into the news, the Hearthstone Winter Championship has been going on for the past few days. They have the champion out. I'm not gonna say who it is. Go check that out. It could have been the person that you picked. If you went and did that and you just did a random pick on someone, it could have won the Winter Championship, and then you get extra cards into Hearthstone. Like we said, it doesn't hurt anything. You get free card decks, so no big deal there. In Warcraft, obviously, one thing real quick, is that if you were saving I know I told you a while back ago, rep tokens.
Leonard.
Yes.
Don't do it. Don't break your heart.
Yeah. Send them to your, send them to your alts. Send them to your alts. I am so sorry it's a late. I've been meaning to say this, but it kept missing my news, and I'm like, I want to put it into the context, and then we get jabbering about other things, and it just I kept missing it, and I'm like, I gotta do this because I realized I still had them on my hunter, so I sent them over to my druid. But yeah, good. It's not that they're bad. They're gonna work, but they're just not gonna work toward anything before 7.2 and before it releases. It doesn't work towards the Paragon, which I think is dumb. Personally, like a quick little side thing, I think it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, because it's not even like I got like exalted with any factions. I barely even got into Honored with any of the ones that I was doing, especially with Nightfall and stuff like that. I think that is ridiculous that they put that on there, but that's just my opinion.
All right now.
Yeah, you can just send them to alts. Send them to alts. Your main alt that you like to play, do that. Also, with Warcraft, I believe, Sam, you had something about some crazy stuff they were doing.
Yeah, there was like a post on AC Veins, and apparently it wasn't enough for Blizzard to just shut down Bossland, which is the Otter Buddy owners. They are actually suing them for $8,740,235.
Yes, I'm gonna give a cheer to Blizzard on that. Thank you.
The monetary award is, I know that seems like a lot, but Blizzard is saying that basically it's for statutory damages, and it's a $200 minimum per violation. And
I thought you were going to say statutory rape for a second.
No, this is what it says here: statutory damages. And this is like actually a piece of like the court order here. But basically it's for the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, which is the DMCA. And this is only for within the United States now, these violations, because obviously Blizzard cannot sue somebody and, really for what they do outside of the United States. But it's for 42,818 violations. That's a lot of botting accounts. So
right.
that
remember these are bots.
Yeah. These
bots,
are people.
Don't be mad at like people that are botting when you're sitting there doing a ton of work on your own. You're spending your time in the front of the computer. There's people that were using this service and they would be away from it.
But like this is the kicker right here. So I wish I was this dude's like Blizzard's lawyer, because they're paying out $174,000 in attorney fees. Like,
right.
Hi, that's like somebody's like 4 years or 5 years worth of salary right there, I think.
Exactly. Yeah. So, no. Yeah. That's a lot of money.
So whether or not they'll actually win, because you have to remember the Bossland is in Germany. So, good luck getting that money.
Yeah. 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 But hey, we're shutting them down, and don't feel bad for anybody. I would say don't feel bad for anybody that's out there for that was using those, because keep in mind that yes, people went and used the service. Those people that use these services, like Blizzard, is very good on when they're finding stuff, and they find a lot of evidence, and then they shut it down, which we've talked about before. But they've gotten banned. But obviously, we've had discussions, and we won't get into it here on this and stuff like that. We have different opinions when it comes to closing them. Why are they doing this? I agree with it. It's directly against this service, but for also a company like you said, like, but they're creating something. They didn't force people to use this. They chose to use this, and they paid for it. But it's I don't know. That's just, it's like one of those things. You put a big red button in front of someone. Don't push that. Only thing you can think about is pushing that red button.
Honestly, it's like what did Bossland think was going to happen? I mean, people who were botting were given a disclaimer, like this is all on you, kind of a thing. Like if you get caught. So I mean, Bossland really think that they were just going to be like, yeah, okay, we just slapped your wrist and we're done. So
right. And keep in mind, this isn't like they just created, like this is a big company that has moved and created, and they've developed and they've changed names and things like that. This has been going on since vanilla. Like they've been here since vanilla, and they might not have the same name as they were before. They've made plenty of money, and hopefully they saved it. And so when they pay off Blizzard, if they do, I hope Blizzard gets their money. But
I hope that they do too, but I'm pretty sure they're not going to.
If Blizzard, yes, y'all like Blizzard's got too much money already. Well, more money they have, the more fun stuff they bring for us. So, the people that do follow the rules. All right. So let's jump into what we've been or what's been going on. What's going to be coming in? What's coming on tomorrow?
Well, on Tuesday. Technically.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow.
Yeah. So, so one thing there before, very excited, with the patch that's coming, and I did see on the thing on the Blizzard splash page thing, or the BattleNet for your BattleNet, or what is that? I don't even know, just BattleNet thing, pulling up your games and stuff, is that they're going to go in maintenance on Tuesday tomorrow. They're going to be going there from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
2 p.m.
Yeah, so it's not going to, for Central, it's not going to be available like till 4. Wow. Yeah, and East Coast guys 5.
Guess
which
a
I
lot
hate
of
that.
People were being productive on Tuesday.
Yeah. I laugh so much on, like, we listen to the I listen to the Q&As and stuff, and I watch the live, like I'll once the Q&A starts, I just listen to them. I don't even read any of the comments because they're streaming so fast. But before it starts, so many people are like, does this start in 10 minutes or like an hour and 10 minutes? I'm like, oh my God, like, do you not know what time zone you are in, for one? And do you not, like, oh, it hurts my brain just thinking about just people want to be handed any answer and they never want to look up answers, but that's beside the fact.
Well, it is the way of the world.
Yeah. So, but yeah, let's break this down and let's get into it. What we're going to be expecting on Tuesday.
Heroes, champions, fools.
That's right, Killed Jaden. So first and foremost, so I've heard a lot of things. So, and I just said I hate when people just give answers to stuff. So that's what we're here to do, is give answers to things. So don't have to look it up. So first and foremost, the one of the things that they said, that there's 11-week campaign. So there's only going to be so much that's going to be available on Tuesday, and it's going to be coming out. And there's some other things we're going to be talking about through this that's going to be relating to those facts. So, but he did say there's 11-week campaign. So I think that we are looking at like a 11-week campaign, which is probably going to lead us up to the Tomb of Sargeras, the new raid. So any raiders out there and stuff, it's not over. Like, you still have 11 weeks to get, you're not going to be essentially getting new gear, I guess, maybe from the new dungeon, but it's really going to be probably lower stuff anyways. But it seems like it's going to be really cool on that. If y'all have seen any videos in PTR or anything like that of them previewing the new dungeon, it looks freaking awesome. It's going to suck in Mythic Pluses, especially the higher ones. It's definitely going to have that last fight in that one.
Yeah.
Definitely looks like it seems like a pretty easy
win.
Well, it's like I mean, it's a pretty easy fight, just miss stuff, but it's going to have like the higher mythic, like the keystone pluses on that. Like if you touch the beam or the thing that he does on that, like it's going to one-shot you.
Yeah.
You're dead. And you don't have anybody to pick you up. I mean, I guess them fighting with druids and yada, yada, yada through that process, but it's going to get people to think. And definitely that dungeon already, I don't want to do it with randoms. I want to do it with guildies.
Yeah.
Then, so, I mean, that's kind of like my thought on that. I mean, also, they alluded to this in this campaign, is that class mounts are going to be coming. Maybe it's going to be like the balance of power thing. So we might have to wait until the raid. Like, I don't know. They don't say, they never said, they haven't really released anything about when the class mounts it's not coming. Like, you can't get it 7, like on Tuesday, you're not going to have a quest to go get your class mount. It's going to come over time in some kind of quest chain or something. Maybe it's connected to your because they're extending our class order hall campaign. So, like Hunter campaign, Druid campaign, Priest campaign, so on and so forth through that process. They're extending that, so there's more stuff to do. I mean, what do you like? Do you see that it's going to be coming in the 11 weeks? Do you think that potentially this 11-week campaign, because it's called the Legion Fall campaign, do you think it's going to come? Maybe we'll get the raid a little bit sooner, but if it comes out in June, because that puts us to June, right? It puts us first week of June.
I think that they gave a lot of clues, and if you do like reading and you go and you read the guides that Blizzard's put out, or just that are all kind of all over the place, honestly, I think that this is kind of, because the raid is supposed to be like the culmination, right? Like kind of like the last stand, right? So the whole point of this 11-week campaign and the fighting back and the beating back of the Legion and the scenarios and this and that is to really push the Legion to that point where you can go into the tomb, right? Mm-hmm. Because that's the point.
You should be able to just walk up and walk in,
Correct. Because like that's kind of like, you have to think of it like that's their last stand. Like, this is where Kill Jaden is. He's the one commanding them right now. We thought it was Gul'dan, but he duped us. And, so we've already beat him, and now we're going to have to go in for Kill Jaden. And, what's the right way to put it? I kind of think of it as like you're in a war. So there's a whole bunch of different fronts that you have to get through before you actually get to, where Hitler lives, kind of thing, So you have to go through all this to get to the end. Plus, the whole point of collecting the shards and building the mage towers and all these other things that we have to do is to prepare to finish preparing us to fight Kill Jaden. Right. So makes sense.
Yeah, and understand people, like, just as a quick lore aspect of this is what we're doing here is in every expansion that has come out, the underlining, if it was not in your face, this is what it's about. It was backed, or the storyline was progressing because of the Burning Crusade of Legion. All of Sargeras is leading this, backing this, and Kill Jaden. Keep in mind that what we've done through this process, even Lich King, Tichondrius was in that. He was lower general, lower advocate. So we're now going for Kill Jaden. Kill Jaden obviously is Sargeras' right hand man. We've taken out, and Gul'dan has been in there. He's tried to switch back time and go through another. That's what WoD was all about, trying this another timeline. And so keep in mind that Valen gave his life during that, and now he hasn't. He's like, why is he alive? Well, that was a different timeline when we went to WoD. So WoD was essentially a filler patch, but a different way that we could see how the world could have gone, and didn't turn out any better. Basically, what we learned from WoD, you can turn back time, but the end result is always going to be there.
What we learned
Still
from
the same process
from WoD was we should have stayed in Waddle K.
Waddle K.
Waddle K. Listen, if you're going to call it WoD, I'm going to steal Sunsense thing and call it Waddle K from now on.
Okay.
I can't. That sounds like something you spit
When
out
you
of
say
your
Waddle
mouth.
K, I think of Wrath of the Lich King.
That's exactly what it is. It's Waddle K. That's where
Right.
he came up with that. So we will now coin that forever and be Waddle K.
But yeah, so I mean, just that, quick lore things and stuff like that. But through this process, we've gone, and so where we're at now is we're taking down basically the main general. I mean, this is the top of the top before the freaking dictator president, all-seeing eye, the main guy. And so the going to kill Jaden, obviously we don't want to just like walk in, we're moving into this process. So it's very exciting into this. And I think that they did say, and they have released, and they said this is the biggest patch that they've ever done, and which they've done before, which they've said, but those were huge patches of their time and at those times. So it's very there was a lot. So I'm actually kind of happy that they're coming out with it early, so we know that it's not like a month from now, but we already know this 11-week campaign, it's got a result. We're looking at the first or second week of June. It's when it's coming down. So I mean, it starts next week. So I mean, going off of that, 11 weeks is going to be essentially like the second week of June, from here. So I think it's going to come a little earlier. I think one of the quests of this campaign is one of the final quests is kill the main guy, kill Jaden. So the story can continue. But that's all speculation. So we'll see. I think the first week of June is when it's going to pop, which is, be honest. What did I say? I said we're going to get a new patch end of mid to end of April. I'm off on that in 2 weeks, and then we'll have the new raid at the end of May, maybe first week of June. I'm right on the new raid. If
it comes out, after the you're right.
Yeah.
We shall see, sir. We shall see. But
hey, I'm not off by months. I might be off by a week. So I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's good. That's good predictions.
I think that
I would
it's all
accept
good.
those predictions. I would accept those odds.
Yeah. Good for you.
Another thing that they talked about is, and I want to have your kind of take on this, is so we're going to be going to Broken Shore, right?
Going.
Listening to this Q&A, and how they said is we all were working together. So when that is to me, I immediately think,
fuck you, Kel'Thuzad, is what I think. I think you can't kill us anymore.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And which now we have also Bone something. I can't remember. They've been sitting in Valjara. I can never say that name, but it's in Stormheim.
Oh yeah,
just AoEing, just AoEing, just constantly AoEing on it. There's like 15 of them.
Yeah.
What the? And they have shifts or something.
They do.
They're there all the time.
They're constantly there. They're there 24/7. And then if you try and go and turn anything in,
they just kill you. Yeah.
It's impossible. I had to run in there. Like, okay, and in Valshar and Brayden's book, that's where all the Kill Jaden guys are. And then over in Valdesal, that's where all the other guys are. And like yesterday, I had to just run with my bubble. I was like, okay, well, screw you guys. So I just bubbled, ran in, turned my stuff in, and ran away. Because like that's where it gets to. Because they're not even there. Like, this is not World PvP Blizzard, okay? Standing on a flight path, killing people just to interrupt how they want to turn their quest in is not PvP. And it's actually making a lot of people think of transferring servers to like a PvE server because they're just tired of it.
Never
you have to
will.
remember, people do not have time for this shit.
Yeah. I get that.
So if this is how Broken Shore is going to be, I am all for that. I think that it's about time that they came out with something like this. I'm all for the fact that they have to work together. I think that that's going to make a lot of people upset, especially on those like servers like we just mentioned that are used to just beating people up for no reason.
I think they're going to get crazier in outside of Broken Shore.
Do you think they're going to like be all like, I can't kill people on Broken Shore, so now I have to go rape a bunch of lobies for no reason?
No, I think they're gonna. I mean, when you consider low like 100s, you know, as you're leveling and stuff like that.
So annoying.
I think it's just. I don't know. I think it's gonna be worse on the day one. I think it is. I think it's. I don't know. I mean, hopefully everyone's progressing and moving into Broken Shore, but it's very interesting. And they haven't said there's going to be nothing, and they haven't said, "Oh, no one can attack anybody. You just can attack the Legion." But they were like,
but it's been very apparent.
They're like, we work here together. The only way we can beat them is that we work together,
which means it's probably just like a passive, like it's like Dalaran. It's an area.
You know what the funny part is? It's kind of like they've done this in Dark Moon Fair. Right. When you're there, no one can attack anybody or do anything. But if you walk outside, like Broken Shore, there's gonna. I mean,
you walk onto that water.
There's going to be a spot, a little like like they're gonna have to hot fix and fix or whatever it's gonna be. There's gonna be a spot that it's like pure PvP. Like you can attack in this like 5 yard by 5 yard spot, and you'll just get like owned. And you don't even know that you're there. You just see like, where are all these dead bodies? Oh, that's why. God damn it.
Yep. And then there'll be like a boomkin or a shaman, most like smooshing people off places to put them in there. Like it happens all the time. Whatever. If you're creative enough to figure that out, then you know I don't even mind getting killed. Like this is completely understand. Like okay, haha, yeah, I look a rogue. Oh, look at your special, you killed me. Okay, done. Right. And especially because we have that whole like Gul'dan thing where we can just like revive right on the spot.
Exactly.
But it's the people who stand on the flight paths or the people who specifically stand on the quest. Like, you know, the people are just doing this in 5 seconds. They just want to get it done and go. So, like, why? Like, how can this even be fun? How can you even have the time to do this all day? But that's my whole thing. Like, don't you have better shit to do? Like, maybe they'll be even less because they'll have stuff to do in Broken Shore.
Keep in mind, I say this every time, especially because like I said, I was leveling my druid and I was doing stuff, and I'm like, seriously, like kill me once, but seriously, you want to freaking come on, guy. But you know what? This game is about everybody's different, like what they love to do, and that's where I was going. Like I chose to be on a PvP server. I love to be on a PvP server because when I'm frustrated, or you know, if I wanted to, I'd just get on my freaking hunter and I'd come in. I'd probably die. I'd take a couple out with me though. I guarantee you, I'd take a couple out with me. Now.
Honestly, all it does is when somebody like ganks me for like 5 minutes straight, I'm just like, okay, I'll go play Overwatch. Thanks, Blizzard. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, we all stay in the Blizzard names, you know. I don't have more fun than on anything else other than Blizzard games, and I try playing a bunch of other games, and I enjoy them. I get into their story, and but Blizzard games always like that's what I look forward to. Here we are talking about a patch. Well over 10 years, you know, that I'm like amped for. So
I mean, I hope that that's how it is. I hope that it's just an area where people have to work together because it will certainly make everyone's immense, enormous, the most huge ever grind to get what you need to get done, because that's extra frustrating.
I always thought of like this thing as like you're out there in the world. And you have somebody that's like, imagine if you were a weak person, you're just getting ganked by this guy. Gank,
Like,
and then you go to Broken Shore and you're like, awkward. Like, hey, what's up, bro?
Yeah.
Sorry, but will you let's
Let's
be
all work
friends.
together. Let's all be friends with each other. I know.
Right.
I hope
Yeah.
that I hope that's how it is because I'm honestly, I sincerely wish that they had never that day, and I remember this day so clearly when they merged the servers. I was standing waiting to get into Karazhan, not an alliance in the world, and then all of a sudden we all crash, we all come back, and
Right.
there's 5 billion alliance, and I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Like
Keep in mind, I will say this. So just like to make you feel so much better about this is they keep merging servers because Horde keep prevailing and they have to merge another one with them that are a little bit more. They're trying to equal the numbers out with to an alliance and Horde.
I
They
get
keep
it.
and Horde are just better. Like here's a new server that's been marked with it. They're attacking us now. Give us a couple weeks. You're not going to have this problem again. Once you starting getting ganked by a lot of people, a lot of alliance, they're used to doing this to Horde that are on low Horde servers. And so when they keep merging them and they keep outing them, just give us a minute. We regroup. We're like, oh, we got a new kill buddy out here now. And we were going to rape them and we're not going to have this problem. And they're going to keep doing this until it's like this equalization that's going to come out. So we'll be fine.
We'll see. We'll see how it works. We'll see.
Another cool thing that's going to be coming out on this is I was really interested in this, and I want to see how this develops. And obviously, we're going to have to wait a few weeks for this. Is the class quest when you're out there? You're going to have. It's not going to happen immediately on 7.2, but I think they said a few weeks, so maybe second or third week is they're going to have class specific quests. So if you are, rogue, hunter, priest, druid, like you're gonna have this like insertion point that you're gonna be there and it's gonna be your stuff that's going on there, and you get on an all that's of a different, like you're gonna have, because they even said like you're gonna have, like if you're a shaman it's gonna have elementals, if you're a warlock you're gonna have like demons out there like shooting and like helping defend and stuff like that. So I think that's gonna be really neat. I'm really interested in how that's gonna like play out.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think that it's interesting and unique. I know like somebody had asked the question in the Q&A about how they were feeling a little bit like their class maybe wasn't contributing as much as like
Right.
say like the demon hunter class or whatever. And I think that allows more people to feel like they're, part of it. Because every expansion, there's like a new something, right? I mean, not in WoD, but like, there was the pandas. And then before that, there was like the goblins and the Worgen. And before that, there was the DKs. And there's always something new. And that kind of expansion is kind of centered around them a little bit, right? So everything is kind of more geared towards them. So I think it's nice that Blizzard's kind of taking that into account and then allowing for each individual class to feel special.
Exactly, and like I said, it's a very exciting. It's a new concept that I'm really that to me I think it's a little bit overdue. Like this is obviously in the way they've been doing things. Maybe they just didn't feel comfortable in how they were going to play it out, and so they finally feel comfortable with how they can do it and everything with the results of how they're going to do with sharding and things like that. In the new in zones and things like that. While obviously the smoothest expansion release ever, and that's all thankful to their sharding technology that they've implemented in the game. So I think they just wanted to make it feel through that, and how when you're on this tune, you see this in like no matter who you're on, you're only seeing that. I think so. I think it's amazing. I guess the best thing is I can say is that no one's going to feel like they're not providing into something.
Right, and I think that's important.
Right.
A lot of the time, not me, like, I mean, I feel like I always provide because my grind provides something.
Right.
But I really feel like this expansion plays to people like you and I who like to play, who have the time to play, and who don't mind the grind, whereas it really doesn't play to other people.
Right.
Like, I know that there are certain people that are struggling with this grind because it just makes it boring for them. You know what I mean? And I understand that completely. So I am not, okay, I'm going to say this. I'm not surprised that we're continuing to have to grind, and we thought the other grind was hard. Yeah, it's going to get a whole lot worse. But
I think I see it as the same thing. We're just starting from ground zero again. In a sense, when I look at it, because we need to get to which I swear before, and this was an eye opener for me. And I thought when Ryan was talking, I thought he was like, wow, lead patch designer just messed up when he said 50. And I was like, they said 40 before. Am I wrong on that? They said 40 was the artifact knowledge we were going to go to. Now it's 50. I'm like, wow, that's pushing it.
I thought it was 50 before. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they changed it.
Maybe I misunderstood. Like, I thought it was only going up like 15 more because it made sense. Like, we're going from the beginning, and look how long it took for us to get our artifact knowledge maxed out.
Yeah.
To 25.
Forever.
So I see that we're going in this process, and they were never clear. I'm like, is it like...
But
and this is something I don't know.
It's never an ending process, though, with this new patch, isn't it? Isn't it like you can just keep going and going and going and going? Like, there's not like a complete end. Am I wrong in thinking this? Because I feel like I think, okay, 54 traits was where we had to get to, remember? So we got there, and then we were like, well, now we have all this artifact power. What are we going to do with it? And like, artifact power, I can tell you, is so much less exciting when you have 54 traits. You're like, I need a piece of gear. Oh, look, artifact power.
Right.
You know, like, my seals are just artifact power. It's just another way for me to grind it out, I guess. But anyway, I feel like, I think it was Hook who said something about it, that he had read something that this artifact power is never really going to be able to be capped out.
Yeah. Okay. So I had a feeling, and this was something else that I wanted to talk about in this, and this was so perfect. Was in the Q&A, he was saying, like, once you kind of like imagine it, once you found your hidden, you put in one talent into your hidden. You basically, after you put that one talent into hidden, that's kind of how this is going to go. There's going to be one there, and you put it in. Once you put it in, you can keep feeding into it infinitely. You don't have to stop. You can just keep feeding into it. It has, from my understanding, yes, it has no end. But they're saying, like, maybe this is the time that you can feed it into other specializations.
Is there a benefit?
If you don't like that, then you should do that. Like, if you want to keep feeding into your own, you can, and you will gain, you'll feel like you're building, like you are getting stronger by a touch. Basically what he's saying. And I'm just like...
It's like a very small percentage that you are increasing yourself by, correct? Okay. Yeah. So basically, the infinite grind is really just for those who... Like, for example, like when Biggles and Peaches changed to a troll because of the extra 4K damage, right? Yeah. Because to me, like, I would never do that because I hate troll feet. But I understand, like, that's like they want to push their...
No, and I'm the same way. I had my first hunter. Sniper's not my first hunter. My first hunter was Drive By was his name. I thought it was hilarious. He was awesome. He was a Blood Elf hunter. Just because I played so many characters and I saw all those storylines, and when they came out with Burning Crusade, I wanted to do something different. In that time, the Blood Elf starting zone was very enticing. Like, there was so much different. It was story involved. It's like, it was exciting to do.
Ghostlands were amazing.
Yeah, exactly. And
now, not so much.
So obviously, I played my hunter. I also had an orc hunter, which Sniper it was, but he was my twink. He was a twink back in the day. And so he just sat there, and he never leveled. I had all this, created gear on him and stuff like that.
19 was the place to be, and you used to rip people's faces off at 19 as a hunter.
That's two quick shots. His drama quick shots. Me and him would go together, and we would tear it up in twinking. And you could turn, and there was also a time you could turn off experience. So we were at 19, we were stuck 19. Like, we were raping. Oh, it was so much fun.
The funniest experience I ever had in World of Warcraft was twinking.
Yeah.
And I was in there on my hunter who was 19. I made her engineering, and I leveled it all the way up because, you needed the gun. Right. And we spent so much money. There was myself, another friend of mine who was was he a hunter? I can't remember, or warrior. And then there was my other friend who was a undead warlock. And you're 19, so people don't realize like what's happening. Like normal people who aren't twinking, who are just playing regular battlegrounds. So there was this poor other warrior on the Alliance side, and we just kept killing him. Like we were just camping their graveyard in Warsaw Gulch, and he would jump down. Like he would do this like whatever the leap or whatever he had, and he would jump down and he would always try and kill one of us. And every time he died, my friend that was the undead warlock would eat his body. And it was like the funniest thing.
when you used to consume, and you would get held back. Oh my god, that was so freaking awesome.
Sit there and just like right at the like entrance of the Alliance, like Warsaw Gulch, just eating like over and over. And I was like, this is the best time of my life.
Yes,
like it was so funny.
Oh yeah,
it was great.
Yeah, it was amazing. During those times, and so through that, but. Also, guess what? They're also bringing back in this patch.
What? Tell me.
Three man scenarios, which were such a huge hit in Mist and Pandaria, and why they have not touched them since, I don't know.
So
but they
much
were
fun,
such a huge hit, and it was so exciting. So I'm glad they're bringing them back. Now, it looks like it's going to be a part of, like, the ending, because one of the person's like, hey, why don't I get something for doing this world quest, like doing 4 world quests type kind of thing? Why don't we get a cash or something like that from this item? Well, it's because the world quests, like going there and stopping an invasion or doing this is like the beginning, and then it's a 3-part type going into the 3-man scenario. So it was very exciting into that they brought back 3-man scenarios. What I don't like, I love that they brought them back, but my one hate to that is there going to be like a queue that I can go into a 3-man scenario, or is it like now I'm at this point and I just get to do it once with 2 other random people? Because I'd like to do it with like guildies, friends, like Drama and Death, or with you and Andre, like just have fun. And like, it doesn't matter if we have a tank and a healer, we can go in 3 DPS. It's always good to go into Paladin because they can throw a quick heal on you if you need it. And we all have self-healing or self-preservation into this. But I've seen, like, I've watched, like, I couldn't hold up myself back. I had to go to PTR. I saw some of these videos on some of these scenarios, and it's a lot of fun. Like, there's attacking, and then there's kind of like, the Frogger thing you had to like go through. I think that's amazing. That's amazing. I love that. And I don't want to really do that. Like later on, there's gonna be people that are gonna just die because they're stupid and it's just retarded. But like through those things, like it's just fun.
You know what? I think that that's an interesting point. Like, okay, so I know you probably have this like coming, but like the specific class, artifact weapon, the special one. So. What I thought was kind of interesting was when he was talking about this, and he's like, you have to be good, like you have to be a rounded person in your class. So you need to learn how to you need to know how to interrupt. You need to know how to do mechanics. You need to be able to DPS. You need to be able to like self-heal. You need to be able to save yourself or keep stuns. Like, so in order, like, and I think that's great, but they're going to be, and you have to think about this, you have to wonder how long until the whining commences? How long until they have to make it easier because
they're not,
people can't do this. Like, this is not easy to be able to.
I say they're not, but I mean, they said that. And I thought that was very interesting into that, and this is perfect because it's going right into this looking into this of unlocking. So this solo experience that we like to get our hidden artifact, or not hidden. I'm sorry, that this new artifact look is really displaying. I know my class. I don't know my class. I know my spec of this class. I'm not gonna lie. I'm going to get it. I'm going to say it now, and I'm going to say it forever. I'm going to get it with my BM. Maybe not day 1, but I'm going to get it with my BM. Will I get it with survival or marksman? I don't know. I don't know. But
I think in order to pass it, you really have to understand every aspect of your character, like in that spec.
And I think it will be help. Maybe survival and marksman will help better at those specs. Something that now I'm not on here to where I'm getting like, there's so many people, like it gives me like, there's so many times that you can go to a target dummy and you feel good, and then you go into raid and you're like, what am I failing at? And in a solo experience, it's kind of going to be like, maybe I don't suck that much. Maybe I just didn't have the gear for it. Maybe that's where I was failing. I just didn't have the gear of this spec. So it's gonna be very exciting. But I think that he was alluding to, because he said that you unlock it. So that's one. We obviously know there's gonna be 4 different colors.
The mage showers, right?
Yes. There's gonna be 4 different colors, right? So the first color is for unlocking. So we have 3 different colors. And he specifically said that there was PvP and raiding is going to unlock colors, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We can only, and at this point, I can only assume, because they've kept this all quiet. Like, you can't check this out on PTR. We're not going to know until it's what it's going to be like, and we don't know anything yet. We know what the colors are going to look like, but we don't know what it takes to unlock them yet, other than what they said in the Q&A. So PvP and rating. So I assuming it's not going to be prestige level or anything like that, because they already have a color variance for prestige level. And they obviously said PvP is going to be with ranked battlegrounds.
Yeah.
So I think it's alluded to an idea that you have to get to a certain ranking, which I hope it's lower, because that's pretty crappy to put that coloring on. Like, you just need to get.
I think that you need to have a good group of people. Like,
right.
In order to get that,
so we have to raid. We have to raid as a guild, and now we're doing battlegrounds, which I would love. Like, that would be awesome. But
it does make sense, because the first to get it, to start even unlocking it, you need to prove that you're good enough, right? So, and then the next portions would mean that you can work as a team, which is most important,
right.
Because you don't win at a raid unless you can work as a team.
Because I'm hoping they're not even going to have it displayed. Like you know when I mean displayed, I mean like when you go to your artifact knowledge, like it's going to be the same ones you've seen, but until you've got that scenario, now you'll see that, and you have it and the first color, and then you have these other colors.
It's going to be like you're hidden, right? Because like you can't see that until you get it.
Right. So it's going to be I'm very excited. Yeah, exactly. Just like you're hidden.
I think that we know a lot of people that are going to be able. Well, we'll see. Actually, I think
it'll be very rare if we like to get it on day one, or to get it once. And we'll go into what's linked in with these towers. To get it to that one, I think they need to be like these mythic raiders. I don't even know if they're going to be good enough. Like, because they said they want to be hard. Obviously, where we're sitting at now, like, keep in mind that when we're really close to killing, we got what Gul'dan on heroic down to like 6-7%, right? Yeah, we're really close to that, and then we can go into, and then we're gonna like hopefully be starting some mythics, and we have 11 weeks essentially that we're gonna have stuff to do, and so we're gonna be going into mythics, and more than likely we're not gonna get, I hope, but in realistic looking on how much time we have, even 11 weeks is enough to get a mythic Gul'dan, because in the world, mythic Gul'dan has only been killed by 40.
No, there's no way that
40 guilds, not 40 servers or anything like that. 40 guilds in the world are the only ones that have killed Gul'dan on mythic. That's 40. Yeah. That is such a low number that if we somehow get it without some kind of like patch or something like that made them easier or something like that, other than that, like, why were we not going? Like, we are a freaking boss's boss, you know? I mean,
yeah, that's probably not going to happen as much as I
agree. Like, no, I mean, more than likely, no, just because we're not that type of guild, and we're pushing. But I mean, it's pretty crazy that when you think about it, like, so only 40 guilds have finished the mythic, which is pretty crazy, and they definitely made the mythic level of play a lot harder than a lot of people anticipated, especially in Nighthold. So hats off to that, to Blizzard. I think they made it a little too hard, but hopefully maybe we'll get some of those down, like I said.
Maybe like the first few we might be able to do, and if that's the case, that's cool too. Yeah,
exactly. All right. Another thing here is they're going to have these buildings kind of like we've mentioned too earlier in the podcast and things like that. So they're going to have there's 3 different buildings. They can be all up. They're kind of, I guess we're all hoping they're going to be kind of one's down, one's up, 2 are down, one's up, or something like that. They're going to be offset. But with each building, it's, once it's built, if you're at work or anything like that, you don't have to. They made sure that people had a chance to get to it, because they're going to be up for 3 days, and then they're going to have a 24-hour cooldown before you can start getting them applying these resources and stuff that your nether shards that we're going to be gathering out there to be able to apply to them. And also a unique thing they're doing with these buildings is they're also, every time one is up, even if it's the same like one that you had up before, and now it's up and it went down and it went up again, it is it's going to have different buffs every time. So you never knowing. Yeah, I mean, different buffs can be, from what they said, like a different, maybe giving more AP or maybe more nether shards or...
nether shards. I'm voting nether shards.
That, and there might be, for invasion points, it will, it enables a elite boss that'll be up, and then, when you kill it, it might, like the stars, we call those commonly rare.
Well, we'll see. I'm a little bit skeptical as to whether these elite bosses are going to drop loot. I mean, we all thought the world bosses were going to give us something too, and I've yet to see a piece of those guys.
Yeah, that was very interesting. And it really talked about these star, every expansion before, these star things were like, oh, let's go get these. And in this expansion, they would just say stars everywhere, and we're all killing them. And you're just getting a little bit of AP, some garrison resources. I said toys. Garrison, I mean order hall resources. Do it, yeah.
You did get a toy. Sometimes you got a pet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But again, if you've already done it on one character, it's kind of like, why should I even? And there was the achievement, but.
Yeah, that's true. And I know, like, even though I've leveled through some other tunes and stuff like that, if it was on my way, I always killed the star. I mean, why not? Those are, I mean, if you already noticed, like, even if you don't kill them, it doesn't matter. World Quest will get you to kill them, because everywhere there's a star, it's more than likely a world quest at some point to kill that thing. Yeah. Which I didn't know. I didn't know if it would unlock that world quest unless you've killed it. So
I don't know, because now it's hard to say, right? Because we've unlocked it. I don't know.
Yeah. And I don't really do world quests much on my alts and stuff. I like get them to 110, like I've mentioned. I like to do their campaign and things like that. So I mean, that's my main focus.
Quest. How are you supposed to? As soon as I ground out my reputation on my priest, I literally only do the emissary quest. Right. But and then it'll be the same on any other tune I do it, because I'm not going to grind it out. Yeah. Anymore.
It's funny because Death was saying, like, who's your number one alt, and surprisingly, and I obviously have, I have 5 tunes now that are 110, but surprisingly, it's my druid, the versatility. I can go in and I can go into a healing, and then I can do world quests because I can just switch to balance. If I need to get to a pod, I switch to feral and then prowl into there. I mean, they're so versatile, and just like I said, remembering when I was playing vanilla days and stuff, just a lot of fun.
I agree. I mean, druids are super fun, so.
Yeah. Another thing, one actual thing is, so there's going to be world invasions, which we know that there's going to be a quest for us to do some of these world invasions, and also these world invasions. When world invasions, when I'm talking about into that, if you don't already know, there's Broken Shore, and that's going on there. And then in the world, there's going to be like High Mountain, Suramar, Azuna, Valshara. One of these zones is going to be shut down, where you can't do anything in this zone until you've stopped the invasion. It changes there's no world quest you can do in that zone. The world quests become the invasion. There's like different little points on there, and you have to go clear it out. Just like you do world quests, it clears out, then you stop that invasion of that zone. One thing I find very interesting, and I'm excited to see on this, is that going to make that zone non-PvP?
I don't know. That's an interesting. Let's hope it's like Stormheim, so that they'll stop picking on people.
Yeah. I mean, it would be weird that we go to Broken Shore and we can't attack each other, but then we're stopping invasion, which is part of that, and we're not able to, we shouldn't be able to attack each other.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
We can attack each other, there's not invasion going on. We just want to, like, hey, we're going to punch at each other. But like, oh crap, this zone is, all right, well, let's time out. And let's do this, and then we can go back into what we're doing, Yeah. But I just don't know if I'm very, like, it's easy to do. They can make a zone just like this is neutral, no one can attack anybody, and it's done. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they have the ability to. I don't know if they're with the technology is there to say it turns on and off, unless we're all in different phase. Like as soon as the invasion happens in there, as you walk in with all their phasing technology, then it's possible. If I think it on a technical standpoint, I mean, what do you think will happen onto that?
I think it's possible with the phasing, like old school phasing, which used to be kind of annoying for a lot of people. But I hope, like I said, I'm a big fan of this whole working together thing, so that there's, you know, people can get more done. Especially, there's a lot of complaints from people who don't have a lot of time to play, and then the majority of those people are playing on the weekend, and that's when it seems like all of the people are out,
right,
just ganking and killing and standing on flight paths. So I honestly think that if it will stop that, even for a short period of time, I think that it will make a lot of people happier. And I really do hope that we're right, and the Broken Shore is going to be like, hey, we're working together, and now you can't kill each other, just kill the demons. Right. That'll make me really happy. But I know it's going to make a lot of other people not so happy. So yeah, we'll see.
Definitely. Another thing is they mentioned flying.
Flying, so exciting.
Yeah.
Although,
I'm really interested to see how long this is going to take people.
Well, I think that, okay, for you and me, I don't think it's going to take that long, because again, it's all about the grind for reputation, right? And then it is also exploring the Broken Shore. So if you're out there doing all of the stuff you need to do to, like, if you're doing the grind, I'm sure that what will happen is you're just going to kind of, it'll be like when you're in a zone, and if you do the whole zone, there's only like one little area left that you have to go explore, and then that's going to be taken care of. And as you're doing all the stuff you need to do on the Broken Isles, you're going to get the reputation farmed out. So I think the last thing that's going to be the problem is the actual reputation farming. And once the reputation farming is done, like, people like you and me aren't going to have a problem. Now, Andre, maybe it'll take him months. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's what it's going to come down to, is just reputation farming. I am interested, though, also with that. So let me back up before I go into that real quick. So with the Pathfinder, obviously you need Pathfinder 1, and then Pathfinder 2 is what's going to unlock flying. I mean, you need to explore all of Broken Shore. You need to do an invasion basically at all 4 zones of Azuna, Velshara, High Mountain, and Stormheim, and then which you're gonna just like those 2 things are just naturally going to happen without even trying. And then basically after that, you need to, I believe, I might be misspeaking here. It's either revered or exalted with the new faction. I think it's exalted, but it might be revered. They did come out and say that they wanted this to be very simple and very easy to get, in a sense that when in WoD it came out way too late. In a sense, Blizzard didn't have anything. They weren't coming out anything. They also had the stance they weren't going to have flying at all in WoD, and I think that's how they wanted to keep pushing. And then the community, like 95% of the community, went up in arms and said, no, like, we want flying. Why can't we fly? It doesn't make sense. We've flown in this area before. And I think for Blizzard's standpoint onto that, I agree with them that we don't need it, because even now, like, it's not something that's huge, and it's gonna make its quality of life change. It's not really like,
we're all used to going and doing without it. So honestly, as much as I want it, and as much as I am excited to have it, do we need it? No. The only place I would say that it would be the most helpful is on your smaller tunes when they don't have the flight paths. That's where you're gonna see the most benefit from it.
Yeah. Or going to High Mountain.
High Mountain doesn't really annoy me. Like, once you have all the flight paths, it's okay. And as long as when you know the area, it's okay. But yes, it will be the most beneficial in High Mountain, and also in Stormheim if you want to, like, be down by the water, but you need to go up to Valsar or whatever.
Right. Yeah, that's true. And then we have all these little cheats. You know, we have our little. I mean, I call it. It's not really a cheat, but it's been very interesting. I would say, you know, when my whistle's down, and things like that, and I'm down there, and, you know, my hurts are down. It is possible to have both hurts down at once. But so, like, I've been down there, and I start to find these little paths to get me up that I never knew were there, just because I had my Goblin glider and stuff, and then I'd whistle, and had no reason to find it. And sometimes if it has like 2 minutes left on my whistle, I'll just kind of like chill out in the middle of the water and just wait. Yeah,
that's what I do too. I'm like, okay, I'll go get this, or I'll go do that. But you're like, I mean, you find different ways. It's
right. There's always a way, I guess, right?
But you have to remember, okay, so here's how I kind of look at it. So being as if you leveled when it was only up to Waddle K, or Wrath of the Lich King if you prefer, we couldn't fly in vanilla. Like you couldn't fly till you got to BC, and then even then you were flying so painfully slow, and it cost so much money for you to be able to get your cold weather flying that probably like at least by the time you were like 1 or 2 zones in, then you could fly. But you had to do those 2 zones first before you could actually fly in Northern. So we're used to not being able to fly, and it was a huge deal for us when CATA allowed us to fly everywhere.
Yeah, I remember it was 5,000 gold.
Yeah, it was a
gold.
lot.
And people, what was the big story? Like, person selling their body to get someone to give them 5,000 gold so they can get flying in BC.
It was ridiculous. And then not only that, but like then you had to update your faster flying and get cold weather flying, which was like what, 7,500 or something. It was like you needed at least your first 20K that you ever like could save. That was just your flying money. Like I went broke flying, you know what I mean? But then it was a whole bunch of difference. So, and then when they went to Draenor, it was like everyone was so stunted about it because you could fly in Pandaria, you could fly in every expansion up to that, and then they were like, no, you can't do it anymore. But let's be honest, you didn't need it.
No,
really,
you didn't. I think they needed to do, this reset, and I don't mind them waiting to do it as long as there always is going to be flying. And I only say that is because why did you bring out flying? The whole reason that you revamped the entire system in vanilla, like when they went and like for when Cataclysm hit and they had to redo everything, you spent all this time to redo stuff because the only reason that you had to redo it is so when people were in flying, they didn't see the shortcuts that y'all took when creating these zones, which were fine because no one would see it. And then you said, hey, there's going to be flying, so you don't continue on in the game. We always move forward, never move backwards. And so, I mean, honestly, we 90. And that was actually a surprise. We were in Raid, and how many people were like,
I don't care.
I don't care. Like, I'm like, well, you're going to get it just naturally. It's like, it's not even like something that you will even.
You can't avoid it.
You would actually have to work harder to avoid getting flying than it is to get it.
Yeah, you would.
You would have to not experience the game.
I still can't fly in Draenor because I never actually finished the expansion, which eventually I have to go. And I know it's just like the reputation that I'm missing that I have to go back and get. So, but when I go over there,
treasures and everything too. They made that.
Oh God, probably not. I probably have to get like grind it.
X amount of treasures. I mean, they're real easy. I mean, obviously, but
I'm not worried about it. When we get back into the whole, I've grounded out forever and I'm done grinding it out. Like I used to go and do those fun things before I decided to be an alt whore.
Right.
But I'll eventually get it all.
Yeah, I'm unfortunately been I say it and people laugh at me when or Death laughs at me because he's like, no, you just like getting them up. But I mean,
that's the fun of it.
Yeah, like I am or I've always been like vanilla. It was funny because when I played in vanilla, I was like, I remember telling people it's like, and people would be getting on other characters. I was kind of like a hook. I was definitely like a hook in vanilla, where I was playing my druid and my own. I was only playing my druid, and I was like, how do people have alts?
Yeah.
Like, I made a twink during that time, but that was like, there was this.
How do people have time?
All time it takes like, it literally then still took only, to get to 19. I mean, it didn't take that long. It took, a couple of days, but I was playing with a friend and we were leveling up and I was learning, the hunter, which I loved. But I would look at like gearing and like going to dungeons and doing all this stuff. I mean, my first experience of like a real level 60 dungeon was doing a lower BRS and then we were doing a stealth run. And if anybody knows, you take 2 druids, one's a tank, one's not a tank, which I was the healer. It's my first like level 60. Can I heal this? I mean, it was my first test. And then you take, basically 3 rogues with you.
Right.
And we go into this and we use stealth run. You run all the way to this, I can't remember the boss's name. You go to this boss and then I healed and they were like, wow, you're a really good healer. And I was like, oh, well, thanks. I guess I am ready for this level 60 content type stuff. So, I mean, I was really excited, and through that process. But that was my first, but I was like, how do you have time to like, yes, you can go make other tunes, but like this tune, I have still this, I need to get this. There's a lot of work I need to do on just this tune. And unfortunately it's like, yeah, it's not really doing quest anymore or anything like that. It's like, I need to do dungeons, but I enjoyed healing and stuff so much that me doing dungeons were not hard. And then it was, and I know they try to bring it back a little bit with some of these quests, and with now how they're doing like your order hall like gear set. But I was all about the my tier set, getting my Dungeon Zero set, and then I did the time runs and stuff. So I got my tier 1.5 set. Or tier 0.5 set. I upgraded it. My druid still rocks that as transmog, because that took a lot of time and it was hard. I did everything, and then the 45 was it the 45-minute run in Strathholm, if I'm right. I don't know. It's been a while. I think it was Strat. Yeah, it was Strat. And it took time, and it was a lot of took skill and a lot of money, gold going out to paying some high tanks that could make it easier, that were geared for like molten core and stuff. So, so I mean, through that process, so that's where that's in. But moving past that nostalgia moment, so we actually have mail. We
mail.
Got from
like you got mail like. Again, with the reference that no one's gonna get Tom Hanks and
everyone gets it. I
don't think everyone.
Oh my god! It's like the first internet movie ever. I mean, if you think about it, like bringing, and what were they? And like I think, and I could be misspoken here, but I think even through the beginning of it, it had the AOL like, it was like dialing up.
It was kind of funny because Stinkle was like the other day in Raid when he was having that lightning storm and he kept like going off and on. He was like he sent me this big thing, like telling me like the stages of his like comeback, and he was like, okay, I have to go dial up now. Like he was like going through this, and then he's like, oh my god, I gotta check my mail. AOL says I've got mail. I was like, oh god, This is gonna take forever. But it was just, that's what made me think of it. But you got awesome. Mail.
All right, so we got a question here from Alejandro. I guess it's Alex, right?
That is right? Alex.
Okay.
Yep.
So they wanted to say what he had a question of as a discussion moment is seeing how we've had some pretty big character deaths in this expansion so far, like Tyrion, Varian, Vol'jin. Mm-hmm. Do we think that anybody else is going to? This is totally opinion based. So do we think anybody else is going to bite the big one this expansion? So Brooks, do you take the lead on it?
Again, not really a lore person, but I can assure Alex that I will die and tank the floor repeatedly in the upcoming expansion. I am sure. Okay. Sorry, the patch. I keep saying that. I'm sure of that. But I'm sure you have some.
Yeah, theories. I mean, I have some, but like, give a name out there. Let's just give a name out there that you think that. I mean, even being a lore person, just give a name out there.
Sylvanas.
Sylvanas? Okay. Well, that's funny because let's see. I have two predictions and on this just because it seems like the only two that can happen. I'm going to first agree with you but disagree at the same time. I do think Sylvanas is going to get something huge happen to her. I don't think she's going to die, but it's very interesting into that because if anybody has gone through Stormheim and understanding, like, if you're even one of the times you've played alts or on your main, if you actually even paid attention to the storm, like to anything, and listening to a lot of the conversations that are happening through that process, and even going into other zones, and basically on her third death, it will awaken us and coming into more, and all these little things. So Sylvanas is looking to die one more time. Mm-hmm. And I think the old gods are using her as a gateway, so we're going to be seeing old gods come back. In other worlds and stuff like that. It's if all this doesn't make any sense, first thing I will do a selfless plug to get like the World of Warcraft Chronicles. The Volume 2 is out now as well. Like, go check those things out. They give so much information, and it's just like it puts it into not information, and it's like one of those dummy guides, or I think what they called thing. So I mean, it puts it into an easy read, and I hate to read. it's just my attention span is not there long enough. A quest, I can read a quest, and that's about as far as my attention will hold on to me.
The hamster in Snipes' wheel just doesn't like to go that way.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like to do multiple things at one time, and so when I'm listening to other podcasts while I'm leveling a tune and stuff like that, I mean, that's why I'm like, it's hard for me to even, like, unless it's a movie I really want to watch, it's hard for me to sit down and just watch a movie. Like, that's, like, I need to be doing other things and having the movie going on in the background or something like that. But it has to be a movie that I really want to see and I can sit down and be like, zone out into it. But back to my point. So Sylvanas, so there's all these little different things with Sylvanas that I think she is not going to be our war chief. Unfortunately, she is trying. Keep in mind that, and they said this in the very beginning, like, when you've gone to Stormheim, that first thing, is a big indicator. If you listen to them talk, like, what she, like, Sylvanas being very, in a sense, selfish right now, is she's trying to lead the Horde, but she's looking for what the whole point in Stormheim. She's trying to find a way for her, the Forsaken can't die. Or they're going to die and they'll rot out, but they can't reproduce like every other race that's out there. So that's why she's trying to go and, like, basically put, like, a pause time, aging type kind of thing out there. And that's what she's doing, and she's pushing forward for, is to do that so her race won't die. She's the leader of the undead. And keep in mind that Sylvanas was turned away and all of her hatred, and she was backstabbed and killed, and that's why, and then she became undead, and through this weird scenario of events and so on and so forth. So undead have been the only ones that have protected her, so she's trying to hold to them, and she doesn't want her own race and the leader of her race to die, or as a leader of her race. So it like, I think Sylvanas is going to play a role into this, and so I wouldn't be surprised by that. And so my other, I would say my other prediction, which I push a little bit further for, is Velen. I think he's probably going to actually die. Now, he's you could say he's Alliance guy, but I think he's more of a neutral, because he's kind of on both sides. He's the one saying, hey, we should all work together and all this kind of good stuff. But we did, in that beginning scenario, when you're going into, Khadgar tells you to go to, the first time you get introduced to Suramar, not actually going to quest there, but you go there, kill a giant, you come back. He's like, okay, go do this. Then you go to Exodar to actually find out what's happening, and you find out Velen, the last guy, General Colaxis or something like that.
Right.
You go actually kill, you go to attack him, and then once you go to attack him, then Velen finds out that's his son, right? And he tells you to stop, but you can't stop, because if you stopped, Velen's attacking you now because he's telling you to stop. You're supposed to just kill him. And so he had that, like, holy crap, I helped go into this process and we killed our son, his son. And so he's been kind of like gone and stuff like that. But he realizes he's kind of like one of those people, though. He's not mad at the Horde, like Jaina Proudmoore. And he's not mad at at the Horde, and not mad. He's mad at, he knows that the reason for all this is Legion, and with Kill Jaden and Sargeras and all this stuff. So he's I think he's gonna have this moment where he's just going to rage, like run in and just be just dumb, out of just revenge and hate and things like that, which is kind of offset from his peaceful ideals. But I think it makes sense. No one would it would be a death that, to me, that it probably would affect a very small amount of the community. Some people would be affected by it, but I would think that everyone would be like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. Yeah, avenge your son. Y'all turned him. You didn't really know, and yada, yada, yada. Blah. Or he can just be so I don't know. I think there's going to be someone else that's going to die. There's going to be some shakeup that's going to happen at the end. There has to be something as we progress. Because even with Sylvanas is funny because she's been definitely a weird case into this. She hasn't really been leading the Horde, which is funny. So she's been so focused on where she wants to go. Hopefully as the expansion goes on, she becomes more of a leader role. And so it would make more effect if something did happen to her. And I think she's going to have like a thrall type kind of thing. I need to go and, try to figure out how to preserve myself from blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So, but that's my take. And that will be our show for today. So we have, Yeah. We have
7.2.
7.2 tomorrow. So it'll be exciting. Keep in mind that once again, in case you missed it from the beginning, just a reminder is 2 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern time, or 5 p.m. Eastern time. No, wait.
Yes.
5 p.m. Sorry. I had to rethink. I had to like recalculate again. But yeah, that's when we're looking at the servers go live. Hopefully it'll happen a lot sooner, but that's a huge window.
But take
they
that
put
time to go out into the real world and explore.
Yeah.
Maybe you could clean your bathroom because maybe that hasn't been done in a while. Or I don't know, actually cook yourself some food instead of using Grubhub.
Yeah. Yeah, Grubhub. But it's funny that they're using 8 hours. They need the servers to be done for 8 hours. This would be the first time in actually a long time with the new system and everything like that that they've actually had like server downs. Yeah, like servers are down on a Tuesday.
Yeah, but that used to be an every week thing for us. That was normal.
Oh yeah, vanilla. Yeah, every week that was normal. People would still gripe about it. It's like, don't you know this happens? Now this is actually a one time that people. So anybody that's listening, if you're thinking about taking off tomorrow to experience, don't just go ahead and work through the day. You're really not going to be missing. You're not going to be missing too much. I mean, everyone's going to be waiting.
They're going to hate you for this. Because they're not even going to hear you.
Take off Wednesday. That's the day to take off. You can wake up and just play all day into the new 7.2.
Or you can take off Wednesday and then just play from Tuesday straight through.
That's right. That's right. But as usual, if you have any questions, we definitely always love answering questions. It does add a dynamic to the show that we wanted to do, and it makes us think about things we haven't really thought about. But like I said, always, when you send these things, I do think about things. This I didn't even thought about. So Alex, thanks for sending this the question because I didn't think about. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it. It gets me in my nerd lore stuff, and I get to really think about who do I think. We'll see, what happens with that. But I really appreciate that. So I mean, definitely everyone, obviously, you can email us at WoWReckoningHour@gmail.com, or even easier, you can just like a lot of people have done through this process. So it seems more healthy through here is to actually just put a post into the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
We're always checking on there, and do it I would say if you're gonna do it on there, do it from the recent posts, because I usually don't check all. This will be the 11th, so I'm probably not gonna check. For our show next week, I'm not going to do probably check through all of them, but I'll be checking these comments on this one, as well as that will be also is we're going to be doing a show next week on 7.2. Obviously we've talked about it, but we're going to get our experiences of what we thought about it, and where we're going, how we're feeling, how stronger do we feel, kind of like the ups and downs and ebbs and flows that happens in every patch that you get excited for, and then you're like, this is really awesome, but this part kind of fell off for us, and so on and so forth through that. But that's where you can find us at. But if you want to get connected to Brooks directly, where we go, Brooks?
Just come and see me on Twitter, because that's where I am, at Brooks First. And everyone keeps I keep getting new followers, but no one talks to me, so I get sad. Yep. And
they want to see what you got to post. You got to post more. Go there for your posting. Your posting.
Is that what they go? They go there to see the random photos of my chinchilla's balls, and I know I have to find new and exciting things to post. I will start. That'll be my new week resolution. As soon as I get through tomorrow, I'll start posting again. Maybe I'll take pictures of me playing the new patch.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. That'd be awesome.
We'll see.
I didn't even watch that. I didn't even see that, even though I know you're going to be doing it.
I actually was thinking
to be like, heck yeah, I'm going to give that pix a like.
I was actually thinking about going on Twitch, to be honest, but not for World of Warcraft. Yeah.
Oh, what, for Overwatch?
For Overwatch, yeah, because I'm pretty good with D.Va. So maybe the world wants to see me play that. I don't know. We'll see.
Definitely. I would see that. I would want to check that out.
You'll get to hear me say all the bad things that I want to say to people when I shoot them in their face.
Awesome.
I'll become the new Biggles.
Right. There you go. Hey, you've heard it first here. You might be seeing Brooks on some Twitch channels, so check that out.
Maybe.
Yeah, but everyone that listens to us and continues to listen to us and continues to support us, and that is also, going through the process of reaching out to others to have more people listen to us and tell us what they like, what they don't like, and so on and so forth. Thank y'all so much. Any criticism is good criticism, so we all appreciate it, and we hope we keep entertaining y'all through this process. But like I said, thank you. But that will be the show for today. And we hope that we're going to be hopefully seeing y'all next week and letting y'all know on our Takes of 7-2. But until then, keep calm and fly on.